I'm not here to hype anything, I am here to help you decide if this screen actually solves the problem you've been wrestling with. When you're looking at a 150-inch floor-rising projector screen, the first questions that pop up are usually, will it really hide the screen when I'm not using it? Can my projector's throw distance work with this size? And am I paying for a feature I'll never use? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Those are the exact concerns I dug into, reading through spec sheets, installation guides, and the handful of buyer comments that do exist, so you don't have to. First off, let's talk about the category itself. A motorized, ALR, ambient light rejection, screen is a step up from the cheap pull-down fabrics you might see on a bedroom wall. The idea is that you get a truly cinema-like image even when the room isn't a blackout box. The floor-rising part means the screen slides up into the floor rather than down from the ceiling, which can be a huge win if you have limited ceiling height or just don't want a projector hanging from the rafters. It also keeps the screen out of the way of foot traffic and pets, which is a practical consideration for families. Now, the practical strengths. The first thing I noticed is the size. A 150-inch diagonal at 16:9 gives you a picture that fills most living room walls without feeling cramped. If you have a 4K projector, that extra real estate translates into noticeably sharper detail, especially on larger screens where the pixels have more room to breathe. The double-shaped design that SCREENPRO markets isn't just a marketing gimmick, it actually helps flatten the image across the entire surface, reducing hotspotting in the center that you sometimes see with single-tension screens. In a room with some ambient light, the ALR coating does a decent job of preserving contrast without requiring you to black out the space completely. The motorized operation, controlled by a wireless remote, is another strong point for anyone who wants the convenience of a push-button theater. Raising and lowering the screen takes only a few seconds, and the auto-induction feature means the screen can be set to stop automatically at the exact height you need. That eliminates the guesswork of manual pull-downs, and the remote is small enough to keep on a coffee table or mount to the side of the projector. The eye protection feature, essentially a low-glare surface treatment, helps reduce strain during long movie marathons, which is something you'll notice if you're binge-watching in a semi-lit room. Installation is where the trade-offs start to surface. Because the screen rises out of the floor, you need a solid, level base and enough clearance beneath the screen for the motor and the rolled-up material. In a finished home that already has carpet or hardwood, you'll likely need to cut a section of flooring or install a dedicated platform, which adds time and possibly cost. The unit also weighs a fair amount, so the floor must be able to support it without sagging. For most new builds or remodels, this isn't a deal-breaker, but for renters or anyone hesitant about structural modifications, it can be a real hurdle. Motor noise is another subtle weakness. The motor is powerful enough to lift a 150-inch screen quickly, and you'll hear a soft whir when it operates. In a quiet, dark home theater, that's fine, but if you plan to watch movies in a living room setting where the TV is on at low volume, the sound can be noticeable. The remote works reliably in most cases, but a few users have reported occasional lag when the battery gets low, so keeping spare batteries handy is advisable. Let's break down who actually benefits from this setup. If you have a dedicated home theater room, a 4K projector, and you're willing to invest the time, or hire a pro, to install a floor recess, this screen is a strong match. The size will give you that big screen feel without compromising on image fidelity, and the ALR coating will let you use the space in daylight without sacrificing contrast. Families with kids or pets will appreciate that the screen stays out of the way when not in use, reducing the chance of accidental tears. Also, if you enjoy hosting movie nights and want that wow factor of a motorized screen that just pops up when the lights dim, the convenience factor alone may justify the price. Conversely, if you're a casual streamer who watches a few shows a week, live in a small apartment, or are on a tight budget, you'll likely be better off with a fixed-frame screen or even a high-gain pull-down fabric. Those alternatives cost less, require minimal installation, and for a modest room they can deliver comparable picture quality, especially if you can control the lighting. Renters should also think twice, because the floor-rising mechanism isn't something you can simply take with you when you move out. One hidden aspect that's easy to overlook is the long-term maintenance. Because the screen rolls up into a sealed floor cavity, dust can accumulate at the bottom over years. While the manufacturer